What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing another regionals interview with Austin. And Austin, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh man,
How about you, man?
man, I'm kind of tired. Tomorrow's Friday, and I don't have to work the weekend. So we play a lot of Pokemon and watch Pokemon. So
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah. So we're looking at your list right now. It is just a good old Mewtwo deck with no Garb, and I know a lot of people are going to ask questions about that, but we'll talk about that later on. I guess my first question is, why did you decide to play this Mega Mewtwo deck going into this weekend?
Um, there's been a lot of hype around Decidueye, and
Just a
I
little.
feel like since with just a little bit, and since like Wobbuffet is super good against Decidueye, obviously they can't really. It's hard for them to set up turn one, or at least like get a lot of Decidueyes out. At most, they're like they can hit like a Decidueye piece, but they're not able to use Feather Arrow anyway. So I like the consistency because like Garbodor is dead in a couple other matchups too, mainly Volcanion. Well, not Volcanion. I mean
Kinda
Turbo
low.
Darkrai. But Wobbuffet still really does the job enough against Volcanion anyway, because if they're just power heating for 20 while you're like powering up your Mewtwo's on the bench and you're able to one shot their benched Volcanion EXs, or you can just hex them and then they can't really do anything. They're hitting for 130, and then it puts them in a spot where I could damage change into like a Shaman or something, or just knock out the active and then kill another one that comes up with another one on the bench. Because it's pretty easy to power up Mewtwo's, so I felt like that matchup is pretty good anyway. And then also Turbo Darkrai, Garbodor's pretty useless. You'd rather like have the consistency, like taking out the Garbs for like an extra Wobbuffet male, and then like an extra I played an extra Parallel City as well. It really helped against that matchup too, because I can control when my Shrine can be in play for the most part. So that's basically why I played
Okay.
it.
Cool. I mean, it looks like it's like really it looks really consistent to me with like the 4-3 Mewtwo and like the 4 Mega Turbo. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna miss energy per turn.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Like it was very rare. Like I played obviously when you play so many games of Pokemon, you're gonna like draw bad once. It only happened like twice, I think,
Okay.
like 2 or 3 times throughout the day out of like all those rounds. So I was very happy with it.
Okay. So speaking of rounds, how did day one go? What were your matches like and stuff like that?
Alright. Day one, start out round one playing against Justin Bocari, and not a lot, like he doesn't have a Facebook, so not a lot of people like know him, but he's like a really, really good player that day two's almost every tournament that he goes to.
Yeah.
He was playing Turbo Darkrai, and how the matchup goes, basically like if I can hit a Lysander onto a Darkrai with a couple energies on it to hit it for like a 2-shot, and then keep the trade going on like that, then I win. But unfortunately, that didn't really happen, and he just destroyed me both games and was able to Lysander my Mewtwo's and just hit them for a lot of damage, and then or just one-shot them. So whenever he hit me for like 130 or something, I never had the Lysander Shrine combo to damage change, or just look like a Shrine in general for the most part. I wasn't able to really draw like those cards. I was setting up fine. I just couldn't like draw like the major pieces for that matchup to like stay stable. I would say it's like a pretty even matchup, but obviously like if you don't hit what you need like against that matchup, like since it's so fast, then kind of lose. Took 2 quick losses there, which was fine because like Turbo Dark is a pretty even matchup and it can go either way. Normally it's whoever destroys the other player. So round 2, I forgot his name, but I played against a Decidueye player, and I just had 2 Wobbuffets, set up 2 Mewtwo's with like 4 energies on them, making sure I don't like pile up too many energies because Lugia can punish you really hard.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of players do that, where they just like go huge Mewtwo behind a Wobbuffet and then come up and then they just get Lugia, and then they lose because they have no energy on the bench. So I like try to spread my energies out, and until that Lugia comes down to hit me, I want to kill it. And then when my Mewtwo dies, I can probably send my Wobbuffet, power up another Mewtwo big enough to kill the Decidueye if they're ready to attack. So normally when that happens, if they're attacking like after the Lugia and the Decidueye gets knocked out, they probably don't have energies on board most likely, and then you just win the game. Then round 3, I played against Azul Griego. Probably a lot of people know him. He's one of the best players in the world right now, and he was playing a Mewtwo deck. Game 1, I think he misplayed a little bit because when he went first, he attached an energy to the active, which, well, not that part, but like he attached energy and then set up Poopud for stuff and passed, and I attached energy and I linked to the bench, I think, and then I Shattershotted, and then he overcommitted, where since he has 60 on him, he Mega'd attached an energy Mega Turboed, and then Shatter Shotted me for the knockout without playing like a lot of cards. So he had a pretty thick deck. So he was very punishable by N. So I just end him and then knocked him out, and then he wasn't able. Then he didn't have links or anything on the bench, so he really didn't have much. So he was stuck for a couple turns, and I was able to just one shot everything. And then game 2, we played a kind of long game. It was very back and forth. It's basically like just shatter shot wars and stuff. And he was able to damage change onto a shaman, which won him the game. So I couldn't really I knocked him out, but then he was able to return KO with another Mewtwo. So that happened. And then game 3, I knew I didn't have much time because the first 2 games took a decent amount of time. So right when I was about to take my first knockout, it was like the second turn, I think. Like time was just called as I was about to announce my attack, and I needed one more turn so I can sweep the game because he had like a dead hand. So I was just shatter shouting everything. So if he didn't really get anything, then I would have won. So we tied there. So that was kind of unfortunate, but it was a pretty good series regardless. Round 4, I played against Jonathan Scott. He lives in Maryland. I think he's friends with all the Maryland crew. So he was playing Solgaleo Darkrai Dragons, which was kind of scary at first, but since it takes a while to set up and get the rare candy Solgaleo pieces, I was able to kill a lot of Cosmogs early on, but once he got it and he attached all the energies, had enough energies on board, just like Lysander or anything that he had on the bench, like a Salamence or something, and I was able to kill it. And then every time he brought up a Giratina, I had a Hex Maniac, so I kind of killed that. So I won pretty easily, did that both games. And then round 5, I played against Rayquaza Jolteon, started Wobbuffet both times, and then just powered up 2 Mewtwo's, and then just beat him pretty bad. Standard. Like he was powering up Rays on the bench, but I was able to Lysander him and kill him before they did anything. Round 6, I played against the Darkrai Dragons, and it was a super close series. I lost the first game pretty bad because Salamence came out of nowhere. I killed one, and then she got another one the next turn. So I was like, okay, most likely you won't be able to do that. And then she just took 4 prizes, and I'm like, oh, because I whiffed an energy. Did 160. Trainer's Mail and the Sycamore, so I was like, well, that sucks. So I lost that, and then game 2, basically how the other all the other mirror matches go, not the mirror matches, the Darkrai matchup, you just trade with Mewtwo until you can build up a big Mewtwo to end them, and then hit for the one shot. So that's basically what happened. Game 2 and 3, but 3 was a little different, where I was a little low on VS Seekers and stuff. So she maybe if I didn't have a VS Seeker to Hex the next turn, she could have sent up the and stall for a little bit, so it's take a tie, but I was able to get the Hex. I had enough resources to get out of that. I had an Ultra Ball for Shamans and all that to get the Hex and the energies to win. Then round 7, I played against Sean Foisey, and he was playing Rayquaza with Magearna and 2/2 Gumshoes. So I was like, I can't power up a 4 energy Mewtwo a lot because Gumshoes just one-shot me. So I had to be really careful and try to 2-shot Rayquazas. But luckily, he didn't draw a DCE all game, even though he played a lot of cards. So we end each other at least 6 times. We both really weren't drawing. I wasn't drawing bad. It's just I didn't want to commit. So it's just slowly powering up my Pokemon on the bench. Mm-hmm. And then I just 6-0'd him there because he couldn't get DCEs. And then game 2, I just got donked. This had an unplayable hand, got donked. And in game 3, he couldn't hit an energy for a long time again, and I was able to punish that. But he was able to, but I was missing a lot of energy drops at the same time. So he was able to mount a semi comeback, and then he was able to end me to 2. But I had 3. I used a lot of. I haven't used a lot of mails, so I had all of them left, and then I had a couple VS Seekers. So I was able to get a mail, get a VS Seeker and Sycamore, and then blow up, and then kill the last Rayquaza for game. So that's basically what happened. And then round 8, I played against Alex Haas. He was playing Mewtwo Garbodor with Wobbuffet. So his deck was a little less consistent, so he wasn't able to go off as much as I could. Game 1 was basically the same thing as Azul's matchup. I punished him for shatter shotting too early, taking the prizes without thinning out the deck or whatever. And then I was able to end, kill, and then do the same thing to him, but he wasn't able to respond as much. And then game 2, it was basically the same thing, except that off like the ends and stuff, he was able to like hit almost all of his Mega Turbos and DCEs and stuff, so he was able to return knockouts fairly easily. So he won that. And then game 3, kind of the same thing as game 1, except he knew that he didn't want to like overcommit to a Mewtwo. So we just like traded 2 shots, and then I was attaching energies to my Wobbuffet so I can take a knockout there and force the odd prize exchange. And since he only played like 1, and I think he had to discard it early, he wasn't able to do the same thing. So I was just able to win the prize exchange, and on I think the last turn of time, I was able to hit the DCE Mega Turbo to kill the Mewtwo in the active for the game. And then round 9, I ID'd with Brad, and I got 31st seed, and then unfortunately he bubbled. Yeah. And it was another Mewtwo. And I was going to play it out, but I didn't want to play another Mewtwo mirror, because those are back and forth.
Yeah, geez, that's like 3 Mewtwo's in one day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, going to day 2, were there any decks you knew you didn't want to play against? Or you're like, okay, I don't want to hit these matchups, or do you feel like very confident going into day 2?
Day 2, it's not that I didn't want to play against Yveltal, but since the matchup's like so close, and that I really didn't want to play against it, because a lot of like really good players were playing it. So like if they knew that what they were doing well, like really really well, then it would be really hard to like outplay them or like try to abuse like some of their like minor mistakes with Yveltal, because like everything with Yveltal, like every detachment, every like play counts. So I didn't want to play against that. What else was there? I didn't want to play against Johnny Ravis. He was playing Mega Alakazam, and I would just get destroyed. Luckily, he sat next to me round 1 and lost. I think he lost, and I was like, okay, that was good, because I won that round. I'm like, whew. I think that's about it. Everything else, I didn't know what Grant was playing. I just heard Wobbuffet stuff, so I was like, I don't know, but I wasn't really worried about him because I didn't know what he was playing. So
That actually seems like a really interesting matchup. It looks like, I don't know, you might be able to take it because like if you just commit all psychic energies.
Yeah, I think I win that matchup.
Yeah, I think you do too.
After round 14, so I was thinking about how to beat it, and I figured it out. So I think I can beat it as long as I draw well.
Okay. So what happened in day 2? What were your matches?
Round 1, I played against Lapras. It was a different Lapras, Evan Gregory. Basically, in the matchup is like if you can, I just attach all my basic energies, so he just gets rid of those, and I can just Mega Turbo those back, and then I'm able to like two-shot him with Psychic Infinity. Then if he rough seas, then it throws the math off a little bit, but that since like that damage is still there, you can DCE and knock him out. So like I only want to attach it if I want to knock them out and take the prizes. And I didn't want to like commit too much to a Mewtwo because he can Ice Beam me, and I have no way out to get out of Ice Beam, and then you just kill all like a dozen energies on me. So like I tried to like split up my energies a little bit. So that's basically what I did both games, and he didn't hit a lot of hammerheads. So I think he missed like I think he only hit like 3 out of like 7, which isn't like terrible, but he's still like you need to get really lucky in that matchup with hammers at least. So he wasn't able to do that.
I mean, I will say when I interviewed James, he did say when he played against Mewtwo, a lot of his opponents would put like a bunch of energies to one Mewtwo, and he would just like Ice Beam and knock him out. So that's cool. That
I don't know why they do that. It makes no sense.
Yeah, he was like, I would just Ice Beam and kill him, and I was like, okay.
Like the only way you can do that is if you get lucky and get like all your Mega Turbos and stuff, and then Lysander that Lapras, and then kill it. But that has 2 energies. But other than that, you can't do that at all. It's like almost like impossible to do that. You have to run super hot. So round 11, round 11, I played against Jamie DePamphilis. I think that's how you say his name. And he was playing Yveltal, and it was very back and forth. So he was like I just Psychic Infinity the active with like an energy, and then he Y-Cyclone me, and then I was able to one-shot that guy, and then he was able to kill me, but he only had 1 energy on the Yveltal, so it was like really weird. So that's basically like it's like a Y-Cyclone, and then he kills me with Evil Ball. So I tried to get him to a spot where he's forced to attach like a DC to kill me, and like instead of like just attaching Dark Soul, I wanted to keep like 2 energies on me. So I that's basically what happened throughout the whole game. And then I was forced to kill a Trubbish early, I think, because I think I had like kind of bad prizes. I think I had like two or three DCE prized that game, so I needed to really get a DC, like keep the game, and I got it, so it worked out. And so we just traded back and forth until I was at 1 prize and he was at 2. He ended me to 1 and knocked me out, but I had like I think I didn't play any Sycamore. We just kept ending each other. So that's basically what happened. I played like 1 Trainer's Mail. I had like 2 VS Seeker left, so like I had a decent amount of outs, except for like the VS Seeker didn't really matter because I didn't have any Sycamore. So I'd like get my Trainer's Mail and a Sycamore or an Ultra Ball for a Shaman and stuff. So I was able to get the Sycamore, and then I just hit DCE double turbo, and then I killed his active and won game 1. And then game 2, I was in a weird spot where I had to use a lot of DCEs on my active because it was the only energy I can draw, and I need to take prizes because Yveltal can like run rampant pretty quickly. So I forced me to attach 2 DCs to kill his active, and then he ended me. Then I really didn't get much out of that, but I was able to knock out the active again, and then he was able. Then he like built up. He had like 2 or 3 max elixirs, I think, and like destroyed my Mewtwo and ended me. And then he won the next turn. So I was like, I can't really do anything. And then game 3, I checked and I had 3 DCs prized. So I'm like, oh, that's great. Again. And then it came to a point. I don't remember really much about the game, but it came to a point where if I Sycamored. If I touched the DC, my first DC, and then Sycamored, and then I had to hit double Mega Turbo because I only had 2 left. But if I didn't hit the double Mega Turbo, I would knock him out, and I would lose the game because he can Evo Ball me. So, and I didn't really have any mails left, so I didn't want to risk that. So I just end so I can go for the tie, and we did. So we tied that. I didn't want to risk it because if I lost, I would be in a pretty scary situation because I think I was at the same record as the Alakazam thing, so I didn't want to like get paired against that and just lose. So we just tied there. Yeah. Round 3. Yeah. I mean round 12 technically.
Yeah.
I played against Russell, and he was playing Mewtwo Espeon. Russell Lepar. All 3 games were probably the worst games of Pokemon ever played. We both just like drew the absolute crap, and we just kept attaching energies. Like we attacked with Baby Mewtwo probably more than we attacked with the EX, and he didn't attack with Espeon once, I think, unless not the Psychic at least. He only used Psybeam, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
I think he used that, but I had like a Float Stone on my active, so it didn't really matter. So like it was just like us shatter shotting like awkwardly, just draw, passing, like game 1, like my hand, I had to like I had opened like 2 VS Seekers and 2 Lysander and like Mewtwo and some other crap that I don't remember, and I just Lysandered like 3 turns in a row, like shatter shotting like everything to set up knockout, like set up stuff, and he just I think he like drew okay like later on, but I just couldn't draw anything, and then eventually I was able to attack with the Mega Mewtwo to kill something, but he was able to kill me back, and then I killed him back, and then it just kept going really weird. Like all the damage started racking up from like when we were both like drawing like crap. So I won that after like I think he ended me to 2, and I hit a Lysander, a VS Seeker for Lysander to kill a benched Mewtwo with Shatter Shot that had like 120 on it. So from like the previous 2, and then game 2, basically I drew okay, but I think he was able to just like hit a little bit more than I could, and basically it was a regular Mewtwo game.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 3 was pretty crazy because I was getting like destroyed, and because I just opened like 2 Mega Mewtwo's, 2 Mewtwo's. I had to Mega Evolve like 2 Mewtwo's. It was so bad, so I didn't die. And then I was like shatter shotting, so like eventually he played a supporter and then like bricked for like the rest of the game. He had like nothing, and there was a point where he had 3 energies on his bench Mewtwo, and all he needed was like a Lysander for like 4 or 5 turns to win the game. And then after like those 4 or 5 turns, I was able to parallel away my Mewtwo to discard it, so he wasn't able to get that out. And then with all the damage, like the Shatter Shot damage I spread out from like just like game 1 was coming pretty clutch. So I Shatter Shotted his Mega twice. That was active, and then I killed it with a Wobbuffet, and then he sent up a Hoopa, and then he's like, I actually can't do anything. Anything I retreat to dies, so he just passed. Then I killed the Hoopa, and then he killed my Wobbuffet, or he killed something. I think he killed the Wobbuffet, and then there was an and then after like a couple turns later, he sent up like an Eevee, and I Sky Returned it. Oh yeah, we like Sky Returned a lot too for some reason. It was weird. It was so bad. He sent up an Eevee with 30 on it that I Sky Returned earlier, and I had a Mewtwo on the bench with like a DCE, enough energy to hit for like 190. I think before my 150. Yeah, like 4 or 5 energies on it, and then he didn't want to go for a tie because it would get him out, so he just he evolved into Espeon and Shaman for 6, and then whiffed what he needed again to win. So he's like, oh god. So I just attached a DCE that I had in my hand from Shaman and then hit it for like 190 or something, and I won. And other than that, if he didn't evolve, I would have tied. And he said that. I was like, why'd you evolve? And he's like, I just didn't want to tie. He's like, I was like, okay. So I took that. That was just probably the unluckiest game of Pokemon for him and me, to be fair.
Yeah.
Then I played against forgot his name again. He commented on my post too in Hey Fonte. I just don't remember his name. He was a Decidueye with Regice and Jolteon. So I was like, oh, Regice is annoying. So he got a Regice like turn 1, test a Rainbow to it. I'm like, oh god. But he got the lockup, and it was really weird because then it wasn't able to attach like a DC, get his DCE to dig for it to Regice. So before he did that, I just sent up Wobbuffet and then did all this stuff, and then Lysandered his Regice, and I killed it. So he wasn't really able, even if he Hollow Hunted it, I could just Lysander to get and kill it. So it was kind of useless to do that at that point. And then Wobbuffet did his tricks. I was able to power up behind him and then do a lot of damage. He had Lugia, but I just was able to return kill that after he killed my Mewtwo. Then my other Mewtwo was able to sweep. Game 2, I just started Wobbuffet, and he got a Forest and a Decidueye, but then nothing else. And then he kept playing N and couldn't hit anything else for a long time. And then he finally got basic Pokemon, but I was so set up that I just 6-0'd him really easily. I had so many energies on both Mewtwo's that did not matter. So I beat him pretty bad, and then then the next round was Grant, and he was trying to decide if he wanted to win, give me the win or ID, depending on a seeding, because he didn't want to play against Lapras till at least the finals. And then he realized that either way doesn't matter because he'll be first seed either way, first or second seed depending. Yeah. But my resistance was bad, so he didn't know that. He would have been first seed either way, and I would have been second seed. And he would have, as you can tell, he played against the Lapras in the finals. So I got 6th seed. Yeah, that's just how it went.
Okay, all right. So going to top 8, you can look and see what your decks are beforehand, like always. Are you confident in your top 8 match, or how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm not overly confident, but I knew James's Lapras list is probably the best one I've ever seen, and I knew his list going into the events because we're pretty good friends. Mm-hmm. So we just talked about the matchup, and we knew it can go either way. Especially with since he's his list can hit it. I know Lapras plays a lot of energy, but his list just never misses an energy drop because he plays Steven and he plays Professor's Letter and Skyla and all that stuff. So he's never missing an energy drop. So it just really depends on how much energy I can maintain on the board while he's attaching to Ice Beam. So if I'm able to Lysander that Pokemon and Ice Beam it, not Ice Beam, Psychic Infinity it for the knockout, then I win. Even if he removes all these energies because he's reset. But if I can't really do that, then it's really hard. So I feel let the first Mewtwo die and then try to sweep with the next Mewtwo. Because I won't be able to spread energy throughout 3 Mewtwo's because he plays so much energy removal. So that's my only way of winning. So that was the plan.
So did the plan work or how did it go?
No, it didn't work at all. I did that round 1. It was fine because I was actually drawing decent. But it's kind of like my... match with Russell, except worse. I started 2 Mewtwo's. I had 2 Mewtwo's active. I'm like, okay. And then I saw the rest of my hand, and I had 3 Mega Mewtwo's in my hand. and like some other garbage, and I Mega Evolved both of those Mewtwo's, and I drew another one. I'm like, oh cool, I guess I can bench that, and then I had to Mega Evolve that one as well. So I'm like, okay, sick, we got the boys. But he like had like a bajillion energy on board, and then it came down to like me. It was able to like kind of make it a game, like it could have been, but I only took. I think I ended up to 2 at one point, and if he didn't get the Lysander on my Shaman the next turn, like the next 2 turns actually, I would have won because I had a lot of energies on my Mega Mewtwo, and I was just one-shotting everything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But he used like 2 or 3 VS Seekers, I think. I think it was 2 though, and then I ended 2 in a pretty thick deck. He got the Lysander, but he had a lot of outs regardless, like males, and then I think but he used both Lysanders. Yeah, he used both Lysanders. He had like males, a couple males and a couple VS Seekers, so like it wasn't crazy that he got it because he probably might have got the next turn anyway. So I wasn't able to do that. And then game 2, it was pretty close actually. It's a really close game, but he flipped like double hammerheads, and then got a flare grunt, or both. I'm not sure. I think he moved like 3 or 4 energies in one turn. It was pretty crazy. And all I needed is like if he didn't remove more than that, I would have won because I had an energy turbo to Lysander's bench slappers with 2 energies on it to kill it with Mewtwo. He just removed all of them, and I didn't have enough energies to stay in the game, so I lost that.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, when I did the interview, he said he crushed and hammered, enhanced, and team flare on the same turn.
Yeah,
it
right.
was like something ridiculous.
It was like 3 or 4 energies. I was like, oh, I had game. I was like, okay, maybe I can make this a game because like it was getting close to time too because the games are like super long. So I was like, okay, I think I can take the first 2 prizes, but yeah, he got like 3 energies out of like the same turn. I'm like, yeah, it's much over.
Yeah, but still, I mean, top 8 at regionals is great. So congratulations, sir.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped.
Yeah. So you kind of talked about the Garb a little bit, but was there any matches you for sure win a Garb, or do you think you could be like every deck with other Garbodor?
I think I can beat most decks without Garbodor, but I would have felt more comfortable like if my Rayquaza players drew like a little better. Like I still think the matchup's even, but the Garbodor would just make it like really easy. It would make it a really good matchup. It would just be safer. But honestly, if I just played against that and the next round I played against another deck, I would just take it out and just replace like the other cards or whatever because like it's only really good in that matchup in this meta. Because like even against the Decidueye, they just play Beedrill, and it's a liability.
True.
So.
That's true. Now, you did talk about, you played against a couple of Giratina decks, and it's kind of a problem, but you have the Hex and stuff. Did you ever wish you had a second Hex to counter that, or you think that was fine?
Not necessarily, because with like the Giratina decks, like if they have a Fury Belt or damage boost me, then it forces them to like, I can damage change onto something else, and then the damage resets, so I can stall enough time to get a Hex Maniac. So, but really, I never really had a tough time at getting that other Hex because, like, with the deck, I just play like so much like burnable stuff, like a lot of Trainer's Mail and Ultra Ball, and then I have like all this other stuff to play down and Shaman setup, so I can like burn through it. So I wasn't really like never really like it would have been a dead card against a lot of other stuff, to be honest.
True.
1 was enough.
Okay. Now, did you want to make any changes after this tournament to your list, or do you think like the 60 was like perfect for this day?
I was debating like last minute. I had 4 Trainer's Mail. I think that would have probably made my deck a little bit more consistent enough to the point where like those like weird situations wouldn't happen. Because when I had 4 Trainer's Mail when I played at a League Cup, and I didn't draw bad at all, and the 4th Trainer's Mail made a huge difference because I was able to like get that either like that missing like card like a supporter, Mega Turbo, a Linker, anything. So like it was just more outs to get stuff. But I think the second parallel overall really helped me in the matchups to like win because especially against Rayquaza and Darkrai decks, since they were playing like 2 parallels or like enough to like where it's hard to replace it. So I can control. It's a lot better to like control my stadium because a lot of decks play Parallel City.
That's very true. Now, looking forward to Guardians Rising. There's a new foe for Mewtwo. His name is Garbodor, but it's not the Trash Lance one. So looking forward, do you think Mewtwo has a chance at all in the new meta, or you think it's like a dead deck
It's
now?
Gone. It is gone. That deck's trash. Almost all these like decks that we have are like bad now because of Garbodor too. It's pretty crazy. Like most of the like Decidueye, I don't think is good. Darkrai because Field Blower, and then also like Garbodor.
Yeah,
A lot of the stuff gets pretty bad because of Garbodor,
I was
which I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah, I mean, like the game's gonna change completely. Like the Darkrai thing you're saying, I was playing a game and a Field Blower just like knocked off all his EXP shares, and he just scooped.
Yeah, the deck sucks now.
He just scooped, and he was like, "Yep, can't get my energies back. I lose." Like I was like, all right,
the deck's
cool.
just not good.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. When I saw your deck, I was like, man, Garbodor kind of like.
You just lose.
Yeah.
What do? Like, you have to play so many items. Like, all those turbo decks that play a lot of males and max elixir or turbos or anything, all the mega deck, like, a lot of the stuff just, you have to, like, even if you adapt your deck to, like, playing less items, like, you're not going to set up as fast, so they're going to roll through you anyway.
Exactly. Like, oh, man, it's going to be interesting.
I wish it was. It was pretty fun, because I didn't really have to think that much, because you just do a lot of damage.
Hey, man, not thinking is the way to go. That's why I play Virizion Genocide.
Yeah, and it was really good because I only got like 2 hours of sleep the night before, so it was great.
All right, so outside of the Garbodor decks, is there any like decks you're excited for Guardians Rising?
I don't know how my opponents will feel, but I like Sylveon because it doesn't let them play the game. It's like not like entirely, but like it just makes it annoying. But I think the deck is probably the most, honestly, like I would say it's like the top 3 most skill-based decks I've ever played, because like it's so hard to pick the exact right 3 cards every time. Sometimes I just feel like I'm just not playing it right, because like you have to plan ahead plus get like cards for the next turn predicting what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff.
So Britt had a good question. He said, if there's a Sylveon, Britt Pybus, he was talking about Twitter. He was like, "Yo, if there's a Sylveon mare, is it an automatic tie or how does that work out?"
Honestly, I think it depends, because in my list, I basically use Shintaro's list that he won with, which I think is the most optimal because it doesn't lose the Garbodor. And I play Energy Recycler, so I can get back energies. So if they somehow get rid of all my energies playing the bad hammer variant, like with crushing hammers and stuff, then I can get back all my energies. I won't deck out. So I'll deck it out first. I think in best of 1, it definitely will tie. Best of 3, I think if you have like 40 to 50 minutes, I think if you play like well enough, then you should win. But if one player doesn't really like understand the mirror as much as the other, and then then the guy that understands more is playing energy, it's just over. It's gonna be pretty quick.
That's true. Side note: the question had a little asterisk next to it. I didn't talk about it. It was Ross versus Jason in this hypothetical world.
So happy we have 50 minutes then. It would last forever.
Ross versus Jason, just like
imagine Ross playing Sylveon. Search for 3 cards every turn. Take him like 3 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. If it's Ross versus Jason, they're gonna like try to outplay each other. Like, all right, he's gonna do.
Like
this.
they'll play like 4 turns, and it'll be time.
Like, and that's you talked about that the second ago. Like the 3 cards you choose is what's gonna be the hardest part. Like it's 3 cards. Like
I know.
broken.
It's crazy. It's so hard. I'm still like testing it, and like I played against Garbodor, and it's like insane how hard it is to play against the deck, because you don't want to play all your items, or they just eventually they'll one shot you. So
that's very true. I don't know.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be an interesting format for sure. I'm excited. Yeah. So, now points wise, how many points you're after this top 8?
I thought I was at 378, but for some reason I thought I got 2 top 4s in the first quarter, but I didn't, so I'm at 368.
Okay.
But it's very doable still, because I'm going to Origins.
Okay.
And Nationals.
So you're not going to any more regionals this.
No, I looked up prices for Seattle, and it was like $650 from where I live. And I looked up Mexico, same price, and then I also have to get a passport, like expedite my passport if I wanted to go. So, and then there's no more European regionals.
I understand.
There is Wisconsin, but I'm not going to Wisconsin, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to go there either.
That's a problem with the South. Like it always seems flying is like.
I know they just don't like us. Like we only have like Georgia and Florida, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess Virginia, if you count that. I don't really.
St. Louis,
like,
probably the next closest.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours.
Yeah. Maybe Texas, but that's like really far too. Like.
Yeah. Driving there was pretty rough.
Come on, Pokemon. We need some Mississippi regionals.
I feel like a Nashville regional would be pretty good.
That would be sick.
That would actually be really like a good. I feel like we have so many players in the South, so
we do.
We need more regionals.
I mean, just look at like the League Cup that like Rick does. Like they get like 6. I think it's like 60 to 70 people. I mean, it's not like a ton, but
Yeah.
it's like really competitive.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
They look pretty stacked.
So, but yeah, is there anything else we can talk about Mega Mewtwo before we head out?
Um, I guess like against Grant Manley's deck, I could talk about it. I know it's useless because like the deck's format is gonna be dead, but like it's not that like hard to beat it. Like they can just if they like Glaceon a lot, if they like, and then you can just damage change a lot. I know they have Rusty's and PCL, but if you can avoid like damage change like twice, and then you could just attack them with Wobbuffet or something, or you can just use or you can just kill Wobbuffets with Shatter Shot. Mewtwo.
That's true.
So that's basically like what I got, and none of his opponents did that, and he said that would be pretty hard to deal with. So
I didn't think you
They had
could
no
like,
clue
have
what
to
they were
Mega
doing.
Evolve. I think you just Shatter Shot straight
Yeah.
up might be okay.
you only have to like really Mega Evolve if you had to like Energy Acceleration to kill something, like Mega Turbos and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need a Mega Evolve until then. So and you can still damage the Glaceon if you load it up. So.
Mhm. That's very true. All right, man. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to Connor Fenton. I don't know what he's doing in Masters because he has 1,200 points and he looks like a senior. So like I feel like they mix it up a little bit sometimes. So also shout out to James Hart. He convinced me to take out the mail for the parallel for like a couple days. I wasn't sure on it, but it really helped. Shout out to I want to give some shout outs to myself. I want to plug in some social medias real quick.
Do it.
Get Twitter at AustinVance24. I don't really like post a lot, but I share a lot of like what all the other Pokemon players do, like all their stuff. I posted my list, so if you probably seen it in this video in the beginning, but just in case you didn't see it and don't want to go back, then you can go on my Twitter and follow me and see it. I have an Instagram at AustinVance1. I normally post a lot more on Instagram, like about Pokemon stuff, than Twitter. I feel like it's a little easier to track like pictures and stuff. So
Yeah.
I just post like my standings or like how I'm doing in tournaments, my lists and all that. That's about it, actually.
All right, Austin. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I really do appreciate it. And congrats on top 8 one more time. And I guess you just have to. You win 2 League Cups. You're at 450 or whatever it was, and then
If I win, I have to get 90 points from these League Cups. I'll be at 450, 490, 458, and then if I top 16 in Origins, I'll be 45. So I'll be at 503. So that's my goal right now.
All right. Well, there you go. And if not, I mean, good luck. First of all, I mean, just get it then, or just win Origins.
We have a ton of League Cups here, so I think we can spread out the points between all us Georgia players. So we'll be okay.
There you go. All right. Well, good luck, sir. I'll see you at Nationals, and guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, Austin kind of said it. This is probably the last time you'll see Mewtwo making cut, unless it does well this weekend in Toronto, which I don't think it's really good and expanded. So
No, Evolution's not that good.
yeah. So yeah, it's probably the last time you see Mewtwo thanks to Garbodor. So it's been fun, Mewtwo. But thank you, Austin, for doing the interview. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Bye.
Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.